Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. My name is Talia Joy. How are you doing today, my friend? If you are new here, hello, hi. I'm so happy that our paths have crossed. I'm a spiritual mentor, transformation guide, author, retreat host, podcast host, and most importantly, just a human on the journey. But coming back to the author part, my new book, The Delicate Art of Transformation, is out, and I'm starting to receive all these responses and seeing the reviews on Amazon, and I just want to say your support and your words and your reflections just mean the world. Thank you so much. And if you have not picked up the book, you can check the link in the show notes below if you want to grab it. It's really a guide for life, for transformation, for healing, for growing through what you go through. And I just know you're going to love it. So thank you so much for the support. Again, you can check the link below. Also, I'm excited to share that my retreat is officially announced. We are going to Bali, baby. So I am just so excited. The doors are not officially open yet. Almost last chance to get on the wait list, which gives you the first opportunity and the best price and chance at VIP options and all sorts of other things. So you can click the link below for that. Get on the wait list. You'll be the first to know. We are going to Bali the end of January, early February 2027. So a year, just under a year from now. And I'm so excited. If you want first access, jump on the list. It's going to be so healing through the body and accessing your spirit, your higher self, your true self, your center through this body-led, soul-expanding almost week that we're going to have together. So I cannot wait to see you there. I think that's all I wanted to mention. So in today's episode, the intention is to help us to just trying to find the right words. It's really to deepen our understanding as we move through pain, obstacles, grief, old stuff that comes up, because this journey of personal growth, transformation, manifestation, goal getting, really moving into that life you see in your mind's eye, it's going to have discomfort and things like grief and things like pain. It is inevitable. And we're going to talk about that today because pain is not a sign that you're weak or broken or behind or even that anything needs to be fixed. It's really part of being human, and it's part of the duality in life that we're going to get to because, duality is everywhere, grief and joy. I talk about grief and gratitude often, joy and fear, expansion and contraction, light and dark, right? We have it all, we experience it all. And so this intention or this episode today, I have the intention of helping you to grow through what you go through because, of course, I can relate. I know my clients can relate, everyone listening. If you are human, even if you more identify as a starseed, but if you are human right now in this skin suit going through this wild human experience, it's important for us to have that perspective and to understand the meaning behind our pain so that we can grow through it and move to the, other side or gather our tools that helps us to move through. So that's what we're talking about today. I'm really excited to dive in, and I think I'm just ready to dive in. So let's do that. Let's drop our shoulders. Take a deep breath, maybe take a sip of water, and let's get into this episode. So one of the things that I talk about in my book, and I've talked about many times on the podcast, is that our struggles often are an assignment or a growth opportunity in the making. So I'm going to use a lot of different language today or just reframe things because even the word assignment sounds like there's some dictator in the sky that's like handing you a test that you didn't prepare for and you can pass or fail. And that's really not what it is. It's a growth opportunity. So our roadblocks are detours in the right direction. Our blind spots are the biggest opportunity for our healing, but also for our advancement. Often we go through phases where we're like, I don't know what's blocking me, or I don't know what's going on. And then as we get that deeper clarity, you're like, oh, okay, I'm seeing here that I'm not valuing myself, or it's a wound coming up, or it's just fear and it's paralyzing me. Then we need to actually move through, right? Toward the vision that we have in our mind, toward a better tomorrow, toward feeling better. So it's kind of like There are no cosmic tests that especially are designed to like break you or ultimate punishments. There's no punishments the way that I see it. This is through my channel, my perspective, my lived experience. So just see if it resonates with you. And if not, it's totally fine. But my perspective is there are no punishments. There's no right or wrong. There's no cosmic test. However, your experiences shape your capacity and offer us opportunities where we can move through fear. We can grow through this thing. We can learn to forgive. We can learn to heal the stuff, right? And that's truly why we experience adversity and like friction. I think of at the gym, to grow a muscle, you have to literally put it under stress. There's all these micro tears, hopefully not bigger tears or else you're injuring yourself. But just by lifting a weight or doing a push-up, you're putting your muscle under stress. It's a whole bunch of tiny micro tears that then, when you're resting, rebuild stronger. When we are suppressed a little bit, it actually causes growth to happen. Growth requires a level of resistance. So even the seed that buds in the soil, having it have to push up through the soil to the point where it's sprouting, that's resistance. There's soil in the way. It's got to push through, and that creates an actual stronger plant. Growth requires resistance, and it doesn't mean that the pain was good. It means that something powerful can grow from it. So before I go any further, I do want to say and give a little disclaimer. There are people that are new here, or just I think it's important to state it. As I move through this episode, I want to be very clear. This is not about minimizing things like grief, trauma, loss, suffering. This is not spiritual bypassing. It's not saying like, oh, well, you went through this horrific thing, but at least you learned something. Like, that's reckless, irresponsible, and not even true. That's not the way I operate. That's not the way I operate with clients. So as I go forward, because this is just an episode, we're only here for, half an hour-ish. I'm just not in some way skimming the surface, but giving you this perspective. I just always want to be really clear. It's not everything happens for a reason, so just be positive. That's not what I'm saying. Pain is real. Some things are just not fair, not cool, not okay. And some things, a lot of things, especially collectively to everybody listening, they should never have happened to you. They should have never happened in our lives. It's not okay. So at the same time, pain can carry wisdom. And as I was mentioning a minute ago, it can carry assignments. It shapes us into who we're being. But I just want to be really clear that it's not a bypassing, and it's not minimizing, as I said, things like grief and things like paralyzing fear or trauma or the things that have happened to you, the things that you are up against, right? I'll never minimize that. My job with my clients and with everybody, with myself, is to hold that pain and to be okay or use tools or nurture ourselves through that pain. And also we grow through it at some point as well, right? So just wanted to give that disclaimer. I am never saying your pain is minimal or trying to minimize it or saying to just be positive. That's just not the way that all this works. Okay, so moving forward. Okay, so life is duality. And this means that pain and meaning can coexist at the same time. You can be deeply hurt and deeply transformed by that hurt. You could have the trauma of being bullied like I was, and also have it give me great empathy and have me be really inclusive in my adult life, but also when I was in school. You can have grief and you can also have gratitude and growth. So you can say that was awful and also have the perspective of this is what that gave me. Both are true. I have an episode now quite a while ago, but you could Google it. I'll try to remember to put it below. And it's called Holding the Two. And that's what the whole episode is about. How there's grief and gratitude, light and dark, and how we can hold both of these. So we don't have to spiritually bypass pain to be spiritual. We don't have to be just grateful for our trauma and that's it. And we're moving forward to be woke, to be conscious, to be, moving forward in our self-growth. We hold complexity. Things are complex, right? But just understanding that you can experience grief or fear or worry or trauma and also find the light within it while you hold the heaviness of just, it sucks, right? I talk about here on the podcast, I have chronic pain. And that is a journey because there are times I want to throw a fit and kick and scream and go, it's not fair and this sucks and I'm suffering over here, and then there's other times where I'm like, wow, this has made me resilient. It's made me learn how to honor my body in a way that I wouldn't have had to learn if I didn't go through this journey. So there are both. It sucks, like really sucks, and it's made me stronger and it makes me who I am ongoingly. It has me practice the healing work and practice self-compassion and practice health and being my best self. So it can be all of it. And some of the hardest chapters of my life became the foundation of everything that I do now. As a lot of you have heard, have known, I talk about it in my book, I share vulnerably, I had an eating disorder in my early life, in my teenagerhood, and then through my whole 20s. And something that was dark and painful and consuming and secretive and really unhealthy for myself ended up giving me a burning desire to help people heal their relationship with their bodies and food when I first started this journey, like 15 plus years ago. So I got certified in nutrition and I started helping people in food freedom and healing their relationship with food and their bodies. And that was the beginning of what I do now. It kept morphing and shifting into more self-growth and healing and personal development and, really becoming all you're meant to be and all of that. That suffering planted the seed for my work now, for my programs, for my writing, for my entire path. And even though now I don't specialize in food freedom and that sort of niche as much anymore, it was the seed that planted for all of this, right? It's still about self-empowerment and healing and becoming your quote unquote best self in all the ways. And when I work with clients that have suffered with their body or food or feeling confident or whatever, I have a whole realm of expertise that I can help people with. And when it comes to nutrition and all that, even if that's not what I no longer put at the forefront, all of it made me who I am and made me have the work that I have with my clients, if that makes sense. And as I mentioned a moment ago, being bullied as a kid, which is another story I share in my book, it made me deeply empathetic. I remember after being bullied 2 separate times that were very horrific and just really severe. I remember I switched schools and I would seek out the person who didn't look like, they had a partner in science class or the person sitting alone eating their lunch. I almost felt this desire to smile at the person who maybe is overlooked. And it was directly because I all of a sudden knew what it felt like to be on the outside and to feel like you had no friends and everybody hated you and nervous that way. It made me more inclusive. It made me be friends with everybody. I was always friends with people from all different, how in high school there's the different genres. You're a skid and you're a jock and you're whatever, the drama kids, all those things. I was always friends with all sorts of different people. I had space for all kinds of different people. The bullying basically just made me be that empathetic, inclusive person because it shaped me. That pain shaped my heart. I would never say I'm glad that happened in it's fine, it's okay, but I can say that look at who I am because of it. And that is powerful. That does start to truly take the power back. So spiritually, this is one of the ways that I make sense of these types of things. It's as we move through difficult experiences, they teach us, they guide us, they refine us. And sometimes it is big grief, and sometimes it's small everyday losses or frustrations or, continually putting your needs aside to the point where you crash and burn. So the crash and burn part is not fun. It sucks. It's not pleasant, right? But what it's teaching you is that you need to look after yourself before you crash and burn, or you're not doing your yoga, you haven't been going for walks, your needs matter. So something can happen that sucks, but it's also teaching you something. Losing something valuable, or I had a client once explain that someone stole their car, this was a story from years past. And even something simple like that, she was saying it reminded me, and now I always lock my doors and I have better insurance. And I know that that's such a surface level thing, but it's not It's because it's a universal truth. As we go through things, it teaches us things if we're willing to learn. So sometimes it is really deep stuff, and sometimes it is like, oh man, it took getting my car stolen to actually have better insurance or to remember to lock the darn thing, right? And these things can be simple like that, and they teach us things. So just like last week at the time of recording this, our family dog was gone for 3 days. It was horrific and panic-filled and barely sleeping and out looking for her constantly, feeling that heartbreak, feeling that sadness, and then finding her, the relief, the gratitude, the synchronicities that came together to find her was just mind-blowing. But as I digest all of that, and my husband and we're talking about it, we're like, wow, it's crazy that we were there and we were looking there and that's where she was, and the trail and all of it, even just the threat of feeling like we could lose her, those experiences change you. And in that way, as soon as she was back, I mean, even as we were going through it, I'm sure I was learning, but as soon as she was back, number one, we're more grateful for her. Number two, we got a GPS dog tag, which I didn't know those existed because she's my first dog as a real adult. So a couple things we learned, but there was more than that too. The community that came out, the people that helped us look, the friend that ended up texting a friend who ended up being the one that found her. The whole thing made us appreciate what we have, made us wake up to what matters. And again, we go through these things and they do teach us. Loss teaches us, shock teaches us, fear, grief, how even when somebody passes away, there's a devastation and there's also a remembering. We tend to start to remember, whether it's right away or over time, what that person gave us, the positive memories, or what that person modeled, what they taught us. There are people that, go and it's like, wow, if I could be like them in one way, it would be this. That's part of the light that they're here to teach us. So grief can be heavy and horrible, but it can also make us more grateful. It can make us appreciate family and friends and moments, while they're here. It can have us feel maybe softer or more tender, more connected to the people and the pets and everybody that's in our life. It has us bring things into perspective, right? So there's hurt and there's meaning, and both can exist at the same time. So as I mentioned a minute ago, whether it's emotional pain, physical pain, relationship pain, life circumstances, sometimes even just doing something, you do something and you feel like it failed or it flopped and it's like, this pain, there are growth assignments within it. There are growth opportunities within it. So people that have experienced relationship issues will say in air quotes, that emotional pain might teach us boundaries. It might teach us what we are worth. It might teach us to fill our own cup, to raise our standards, to come back into our body, to love ourselves first, right? As I mentioned a minute ago, when we crash and burn, we might finally learn to care for ourselves. Something might fall apart to have us actually build up a part of ourselves that actually fits. Things fall away so that better things can come. And it might not feel like in your life that, or every single time that's always what happens, but I know you can look back and see times where crashing and burning led you to learn, where something fell apart and it actually paved the way to something totally unexpected. There are always lessons. And I don't think it's in just a moralizing way, like right, wrong, this is the one thing. It's not super, like tangible and concrete. It's about, who am I becoming through this? What am I going to allow this to shape me as? I know that, when I lost my Nana, I was younger and, I wasn't too young. I was in my 20s, but her name was Joy. That's why my business is Talia Joy, but she truly was a joy. And while I can always miss her, and on her birthday and, the day that she passed away and different points, I'm always remembering her and thinking of her favorite bird, her favorite this, I have her cast iron Dutch oven. I'm thinking about her. And she inspires me as a woman in this family, as, someone that was grateful to know her, and her way of being joy, her way of not sweating the small stuff, of laughing things off. And when everyone's in a bunch in the family, she's just like, let it go, And that type of thing, that again is the light that she passed on. So we can have that sadness, but I can also take every ounce of her that I can remember and, all the things that she taught me and all the memories, and she taught me how to sing, and now I sing, and like all the ways that I can connect to her. That is that's what I can do. That's the gift she gave me. So of course, somebody passing away or loss, it's not easy. It doesn't feel right. Especially there's circumstances that just really aren't right again, right? But what we can do is live life in their image, or remember what matters, as I was saying, have gratitude for what we do have. So sometimes finding the meaning, because we don't want to be bypassing, don't force that. Don't go like, if I can find the meaning, then I can heal and move through. Because again, it's messy. Grief's going to hit you in the face, or the feeling of wounds coming up, or pain from past relationships, it's going to come up. But again, we can center back into our own frame, back into our own body, and go, who am I becoming through this? So we don't have to romanticize the pain to learn from it. We can say, this shouldn't have happened. That's unfair. I don't deserve this. I didn't deserve that. And we can also stand there and say, this is what it taught me. This is who it shaped me to be. This is how it made me stronger, kinder, wiser, a better parent, a better friend. Both can be true. And that's in some ways spiritual mastery, spiritual maturity, emotional integration, to know that we can hold both, and it's not bypassing, and it's not like toxic positivity. It's wholeness. It's going, my chronic pain can suck, and it can also force me to slow down and look after myself and put my body and my needs first, and know when to say, no, I need to lay down, or no, I need a day off. Having my chronic pain has made me walk the journey of, as I've shared before, the quote, pain is inevitable, suffering is a choice. And that's been something I've been walking and deepening for probably 15 years now. That quote found me and hit me. Am I going to suffer in this chronic pain? Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. And that makes me stronger. So we are not bypassing, we are honoring, we are holding all of it. And we are moving forward with what these people and situations taught us. And when it comes up and when it's emotional and when it sucks, we, lick our wounds and we hold ourselves through it, and maybe, talk to a friend, get support through it, just allow yourself to feel. And then as your tears dry and you kind of go, then we go, okay, now I'm going to live in the image of my Nana, or now I'm going to take that scrappy fire energy and turn it into a phoenix. I am now stronger and kinder and wiser and unstoppable because of these things. So if this resonates with you, I'm going to offer, as we start to close, just a few questions that you can ask yourself. You could journal on them or reflect on them. No pressure, no forcing, just kind of seeing, what comes up. So first I want to say or ask, what is a challenge or experience that has shaped who you are today? Without diving into all the details, what's one of the first things that comes up? A challenge, an experience, something painful maybe, a childhood that was difficult that shaped you into who you are today. And what strengths did you experience or develop? Resilience, empathy, courage, boundaries, and maybe even asking, how did this pain influence the way you show up for others? Yeah. So what was a challenge or experience that shaped who you are today? What strengths did you gain from it? Did you glean from it? What strengths do you now have because of this experience? And how did this pain influence how you show up for others? Because you never have to forgive someone or say it was okay, but we can sort of turn our energy into, well, now I'm scrappy, now I'm resourceful, now I'm empathetic. That still sucked, but I'm going to move forward with my power. and turn my mess into my message, turn my pain into my power. Okay, I hope this resonated with you, my friend. It's all about honoring the hurt and the growth, seeing the positivity behind it, but not bypassing the pain. And that's a delicate line. And I'm here with you in that journey. All right, my love, thank you again so much for tuning in today. Make sure to check the show notes for all the things I've got going on that I mentioned, also Instagram and all the other ways that we can connect. And if you feel called to mentorship, I would love to work with you one-on-one. You can always reach out on Instagram or email me. Again, the information is below. All right, I will talk to you soon. Bye.